Guys,
Hey, doing well, Ben. How you doing?
good, good. All right,
Good.
well, now joined by UNCW head coach Nicole Woods and Kate Hollifield. Under Coach Woods' guidance, Seahawks finished 14 and 18 last season, while Hollifield returns, averaging just under 7 points a game last year. Coach, we'll start with you. Under your tutelage, the program went from 5 wins before you took over to 14 in your most recent season. What are you seeing from this squad this year that you think you'll be able to continue that growth and development as a program?
Well, the most important thing, Ben, I would say is the belief. There was a point last year that we went from hoping that we won games to expecting to win games. And as you know, it starts in your mind before it starts in actuality. And so this group knows what it takes. We've got 8 returners and we've got 4 newcomers. Probably half of those returners though were injured last year. And so we really have a brand new team. A lot of familiar faces that people know when it comes to UNCW aren't here anymore due to graduation. And so I'm excited for Kate to be able to go out there and probably be the number one person on the scout and report her and teach and see what we're able to do. I'm super excited for them and excited to see the returners in their different roles this year.
Sure. We'll open it up to questions and start with Griffin first.
Hello, this one's both for Coach Woods and Kate. When looking back on last year, what were some of the bigger lessons that you learned that you can now take with you this upcoming year?
You want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. For me, we lost a lot of conference games, and it probably would have been maybe 1 or 2 possessions, and every possession matters. And so for me, the biggest lesson was, I always learned when I was coming up that whenever we lose by 5 points or less, it's the coach's fault. Period. And so I've gone back to kind of reassess maybe some things that I should have done better, or maybe put our team in a better, situation to be successful, to be able, especially in the game situations, to get us over that hump. And so that probably was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, from the player standpoint, I would just say many lessons were learned at the end of the game, like Coach said, and I think it really came down to getting stops defensively and finishing the play with a rebound. So the coaches have done a great job the offseason and this preseason with emphasizing those two things. So I think we're really working on that right now.
Rob?
Coach, what's happening? Good to see you.
Hey, Rob, what's happening?
I'm good. I can't complain. I'm excited now that I see you all.
Hey, that's
Uh,
what I like to hear.
question for both of you all. What can fans expect of UNCW this year? Like you said, yeah, I think you hit it on the head too. You said you at some there was a point in the season last year where you went from hoping to win to expecting to win, right? So I would imagine with what you have returning, that's the mindset there. But what can people expect?
As I said, we'll be different. We don't have Ali Zelaya anymore. I wish I had got another year like Amaris Baker, out of Ali, but we don't have Ali. But we've got Angelina Paleo, which will be different than Ali, but a really good post player. It'll be a red shirt freshman year for her. And so we still want to have the same emphasis offensively. We finished top 3 in the conference in points per game. We still want to do that, but as Kate said, after going back and watching the film, we gave up just as many as we put in the hole. And so, I'm an accounting major. That ain't good math. And so we've got to make sure and trim that down. And most of them came from second chance opportunities. So we're gonna have more of a defensive mindset this year. Might not be as explosive offensively as we were, but I think that our greater commitment to defense will help kind of shrink the gap there.
And and you, what do you think?
I think that the expectation this year is to, like we kind of already mentioned, is have a winning mindset. When we get the win, we get a stop, we get the score, we execute the play right. It's not that we're surprised, but we're expecting it. We know it's going to happen and just trust in the process and to continue to be confident in what the coaches have instilled in us.
Thank you.
Kate, for you, you transferred in last year from Belmont. How have you seen yourself develop as a leader in these past 2 years within your program?
Honestly, I've seen a side of myself that I didn't even know existed. I feel like I became a totally different player, and that's comes from the coaches and my teammates just believing in me, making me feel like I'm confident and capable of doing all these things. And I really would not be here if it weren't for them. So I'm so serious.
Coach, in this era of the transfer portal, you talk a lot about how you have a lot of players coming back from injury and almost feel like new players coming into your team. How much of an advantage does that give you where you look around the conference and there's maybe 5 transfers on another team, but your team has 3 transfers and then let's say 2 people coming back that already know the system and know the program?
Yeah, we really worked hard to be able to retain our student athletes, and it's hard out here. I call it Portal Combat, the transfer portal, like Mortal Kombat back in the day. It's treacherous out here, and so we try to do our best to treat our young women right. And we try to do a lot of things, not just for them on the court, but off the court as well, whether it's helping them secure internships, whether it's doing different things to help them, past the obvious on the basketball court. And my hope is that that becomes enough. At the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. And, I always like to say relationships are my superpower. And so maybe I'm old school and naive to think that, that still counts for something. But my players know that I care. They know that I'm gonna go outside of my way to make sure they get whatever they need to be successful.
Looks like we have time for just one more, so I'll toss it back over to Griffin.
Yeah, coach, when I look at your non-conference schedule, pretty good mix overall with some, other mid-major teams, but also some Power Four programs as well. Just what was some of the conversations with the coaching staff and trying to construct that and give yourself some momentum when you enter conference play?
Yeah, we do. We got some extremes, don't we? On the schedule, and we're gonna always play UNC every year. We're gonna play East Carolina every year, and we're gonna play Coastal Carolina. Period. We're gonna play those teams. Just kind of being here in the area, wanting to have kind of a rivalry with Coastal Carolina and East Carolina. And then I'm from the Charlotte area, so I'm always gonna recruit that area. We're going to Gardner Webb to take Kate back home. How far is that from your house?
15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. We go up to Longwood, who, had a great year last year. And so one thing that we wanted to make sure and do was to try to play teams that gets us prepared for teams that press, getting prepared for Charleston. So we played Longwood, to be able to help us with that in the non-conference. And so we're very aware of our shortcomings from last year, and we're trying to do our best to improve those and reduce that margin for error that we had last year.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like that's all the questions we have, so thank you both and good luck this season.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank
Thank
you
you all.
guys.